I have more fun with this guy, even though he is a Cardinals fan. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Sam Bush.
Yeah! Oh, hi, everybody.
Control yourselves. He's very, very kind. Yeah, you know how he is. Great to see you, and happy birthday, Mr. Sam Bush. Recently turned 65 years old. Yes!
Yes.
Proud of you.
And as birthdays go, it was the most recent.
Yeah.
And
it comes with the most memberships and the most discounts and all kinds of great stuff, right?
all kinds of discounts. Del McCurry says if I'm patient, I'll get an airline discount in 5 years. So.
Well, we're just so happy to have you back, man. And besides the Story Man album, which I want to mention from last year, you mentioned to me before the show that you're literally in rehearsals to head to the Ryman Auditorium next week to play a reunion of Emmylou Harris and the Hot Band and this awesome, inspirational, and influential album, Emmylou Harris Live at the Ryman.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we've been rehearsal for 2 days. Actually, it's Emmylou and the Nash Ramblers.
I'm sorry. God, yeah. I get the Hot Band and the Nash Ramblers confused all the time.
She had a lot of great bands over the years, and especially all those Hot Band configurations. Yeah. And
Thank you.
And then in 1990, Emmylou decided she wanted to sing in a quieter atmosphere, so she assembled the what became the Nash Ramblers. John Randall Stewart, Larry Atamanyuk. Our original bass player was Roy Husky Jr. And Al Perkins on the dobro. And so Tuesday night, good old Byron House will be on the bass with us. So it's been the last 2 days we've been in rehearsal for this, and it just keeps a smile on my face because it's great to be back around. It's just the five of us, and and the six of us, and we were kind of an acoustic. Although we have bluegrass instruments, and some people might have called us a bluegrass group, we always felt like that it was a prime example of acoustic country music.
Right, absolutely. Is it an anniversary of the release of the record in particular, or how did this come about?
I think we're actually there in relation for the anniversary of the Ryman.
Okay, great. Right. Now, when that album was recorded, the Ryman was not generally open for business. It was pre-renovation. It was in really rough shape. What are your memories of that night? Because that show and that album are credited with helping really stir the pot to get the Ryman renovated.
Well, when we first started talking about, we had been on the Emmylou had the band for a year, and when we first started discussing, she wanted to make a live record. We were like, yeah, let's do it. And she said, I think I'd like to do it at the Ryman. And I piped up, I said, if I'm not mistaken, it might be condemned. And she said, great, we got to do it. We got to do it there. And so the way I recall, it was about 300 invited people came to the show. We did it 3 nights in a row. So it was for TV tapings. And each night, one of the highlights would be Emmy was buck dancing a lot back then, and they got Bill Monroe to come out and dance with her. And so we would play Scotland, one of Bill's tunes, and then they danced. So that happened 3 times, 3 nights in a row. And then the third night, I don't know if Bill worked himself into a frenzy. Apparently he had to get off stage and grab a glycerin pill quickly. He was especially excited that night.
Was that the first time you had ever played in the Ryman Auditorium, given that 73 it had been vacated? Had you ever played there before?
I had, as a kid, my dad and I made friends with Roy Acuff and the Smoky Mountain Boys, and so it was, I remember I was 16, so I guess it was somewhere in 1968, and we came down, my dad and I came down for a Friday night Opry, and we were standing on the side stage. Now, Mr. Acuff, when they weren't on the Grand Ole Opry stage, he loved, his dressing room was a running fiddle jam session, just nothing but fiddling for hours. So we'd come down, basically, we would just come down to jam in the dressing room, and with Roy's incredible fiddle player, Howdy Forrester, and so I was just standing over on the side of the Ryman stage, and my dad comes up to me, and he had a fiddle and a bow, and he goes, Roy's putting you on next song. What do you want to play? So it's really, it's good that I didn't know, because, I mean, as it was, I was about so nervous I couldn't hold the bow.
Yeah.
So I had fortunately been on the stage of the Ryman just for a fiddle tune as a boy, Charlie Collins on guitar and me. And but and so
Was the sound when you played with Emmylou, did that vibe and that feeling in the acoustics measure up, or in its state was it not really ready for?
no, very
was
much.
it great?
And we, in making our live record there, that's one of the things I really love about the sound of that record, that you can, I hear the sound of that room,
Yeah.
reverberating on the record.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the first time I ever heard or was aware of the Ryman. I learned about the Ryman and its sensation, its vibration through that record, and many of us did. So it'll be fantastic to have this happen again.
I too think Miss Emmylou was pretty responsible for saving that room.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Storyman's still the current record. It's a wonderful project. The usual eclectic mix with the same guys that you'll be playing with tonight, basically.
We got it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got the boys here. Got
Yeah.
Chris Brown on drums, Todd Parks on bass, Stephen Mogen with his guitar, and Scott Vestal with the 5-string banjo.
One of the tightest units in the business, and we're looking forward to it so much. Sam Bush, everybody. Thanks a lot for being
Thank
here,
you.
buddy.
Thanks, Craig.
Off and running.